Lasst uns erstmal ein kleines Video zur Entspannung gucken. Nämlich ein Video, bei dem es darum geht, wie lange es dauert, bis wir demnächst von Aliens überfallen werden. Super entspannt, oder?
It's our first limited drop.
Um Gottes Willen. Ich bin noch nicht drin und schon ist es Werbung.
The universe is magnificent and vast. Hundreds of billions of galaxies, trillions of stars, and even more planets. If even the tiniest fraction are habitable, then the universe should be teeming with life. And yet we see nothing, only vast emptiness. Where is everyone else?
Ha! Es sind hier schon viel zu viele Leute auf einmal auf diesem Planeten. Es reicht mir schon.
The answer to this riddle could be as exciting as it is creepy. We are early, born before almost all other life. But very soon, this may change. Not only might aliens appear, they could quickly surround us. An irreversible...
Wir sind nicht überbevölkert. Wir sind mehr als eine Person, also sind es zu viele Menschen auf dieser Erde. Das möchte ich damit ausdrücken. Ich hasse alle und alles. Überall. Deswegen gehe ich auch nicht aus dieser Wohnung raus, weil ich mich dann nur mit mir konfrontieren muss. Schon schwierig genug, darüber nachzudenken, dass rund um mich herum noch 100.000 Milliarden andere sein könnten. Auf allen möglichen anderen Planeten, um Gottes Willen.
Competition.
Ja, ihr seid nur Zeilen und Text. Das ist okay. Stellt euch mal vor, ihr würdet alle hier in diesem Raum sitzen. Und dann nennt man das Klassenzimmer. Nee, geht gar nicht. Und das Lustige ist, fast alle Lehramtsstudenten, die ich kenne, denken auch so über Menschen. Und ich denke mir so, wieso sind wir alle Lehrer geworden? Was soll das? Warum haben wir das getan? Ich glaube, meine Theorie, um es besser zu machen. Weil man sich denkt, alle sind scheiße. Ich versuche jetzt so ein paar so zu formen, dass sie erträglich sind.
For the universe might be about to begin. While this video is based on scientific papers, we're presenting interesting ideas based on little data and lots of extrapolation, so take them with a grain of salt. Okay, we need...
Psychologiestudentensyndrom. Nee, das Psychologiestudentensyndrom ist ja, ich habe ein Problem und möchte herausfinden, was mein Problem ist, deswegen studiere ich Psychologie.
To look at three essential questions to understand the galactic competition. 1. How fast can bacteria build spaceships? To become a starfaring
Moment. Ich bin geistig gerade noch nicht auf dem Niveau dieses Videos.
civilization, life as we know it needs to master a number of very hard steps. It starts with dead stuff turning into the building blocks of life. Then it needs to organize into self-contained cells. Those cells have to learn to work together to form multicellular organisms. This keeps going until complex creatures with big brains learn to use tools and language. Civilization has to be formed from cultures that value progress and technological development. And then they need to...
Leute, wie krass wäre ein Spiel, das auf dieser Basis ablaufen würde. Also man fängt als Bakterium an und muss irgendwann die Welt in Raumschiffen verlassen. Während es in der Galaxie noch ganz viele andere Bakterien gibt, die genau dasselbe versuchen. Und man muss der Erste sein, der dann in der Lage ist, diese ganzen anderen Planeten zu unterwerfen oder zu zerstören. Oder so.
To actually venture out beyond their home planet. On Earth, life appeared basically as soon as the oceans formed. But then it...
Warte mal, Moment. Spore war aber doch nicht bis zu dem Zeitpunkt, dass du Raketen baust oder sowas.
took 2 billion years to make the step from single cells to multicellular organisms and 2 billion more for us to appear. Culture?
Doch? Echt? Ich habe damals nur die Demo gespielt. Dann war es mir zu teuer und ich habe gesagt, nee, das Geld habe ich dafür nicht.
Civilization and space travel developed super quickly though. Do things always take that long, or was this actually exceptionally fast? Also, passing one step does not mean the next one is guaranteed. Multicellularity evolved over 25 times independently on Earth, but there's only one species that builds spaceships. We don't know how many steps life needs to pass and how long they take to give rise to a technological civilization, but there are probably many, and it's likely that on trillions of planets, life has been trying for billions of years. Since we don't see any other technological civilizations out there, it might well be that we are a rare exception. We might be among the first, or even the first technological civilization in the Milky Way.
Oder die letzte, weil alle anderen uns schon derartig hinter sich gelassen haben, dass wir niemanden mehr sehen. Wie wär's denn? Der Gedanke, dass alles um uns herum mal komplett voller Leben war und rege miteinander in Kontakt stand und einfach gemeinschaftlich die nächste Stufe erreicht hat, wo man sie dann halt nicht mehr wahrnimmt. Ne? Die anderen haben sich halt auf eine andere Daseinsebene verflüchtigt und wir wurden zurückgelassen, weil sie uns immer schon scheiße fanden.
But this is just one piece of the puzzle. On top of that, we may have just hit the perfect time window. Why does humanity exist now? The universe is already 13.8 billion years old, but it's unlikely that many other technological civilizations had a chance to appear before us. Because in the earlier universe, life would have had a pretty hard time to emerge, let alone thrive, because it was such a hostile environment. Early stars constantly blew up, galaxies crashed into each other, and supermassive black holes vomited massive amounts of radiation. Enough to sterilize galaxies over and over again. Our sun was born right at the end of this cosmic death show. The universe has never been more welcoming to life than it is now.
Ja, es ist das unendliche, tote Universum ist so ein schöner, gemütlicher Platz für uns.
So humanity has arrived at a very convenient spot in time, maybe the earliest reasonably possible for life to thrive. What about the future? The sun burns brighter than 90% of the stars in our galaxy and will keep getting brighter. In about 1 billion years, it will boil all of Earth's oceans and then become a giant that swallows it whole. So in the galactic context, the sun is very short-lived. Most stars are red dwarfs that can sustain habitable planets for tens of trillions of years. Life on these planets has an incredibly long time window to appear and pass the hard steps. Even knowing nothing about how rare or common life is, this makes it way more likely for technological civilizations to appear sometime in the future than in the past. Because if civilizations appear at random in the Milky Way within a time window of...
Das ist natürlich ein interessanter Punkt, dass es noch eine ziemlich lange Zeit gibt, um eine angenehme Startbedingung zu haben und die länger ist als die bereits zurückliegt in einem angenehmen Fenster.
...a trillion years, then very few, if any, would appear before today. Then a couple more arrive in this period of 1 billion years that we're in before all star-faring civilizations that could ever exist emerge altogether. This weird tsunami-like distribution is the result of both the hard steps model and something else. A sort of deadline for any spacefaring civilization. Any civilization coming after will find it hard to have room to survive, so all potential life has to cram in before it. Humanity exists now because otherwise we might have missed this deadline. What or who creates this deadline? Why aren't aliens already on Earth? Humans are curious, expansionist, and hungry for energy. We've spread over the world and made it our own. Our technology has been improving over time, first slowly, then breathtakingly fast. If these things don't change drastically and our descendants want to prosper, they will expand into space. We could construct a Dyson swarm for endless energy and transform planets into new homes. We could cross interstellar distances, allowing us to
Wie viele Entwicklungsstufen ist die Dyson-Sphere entfernt?
reach for planets around distant stars. If we have the
Klar, wenn wir Sterne harvesten können, ist natürlich alles total easy. Dann geht natürlich alles.
motivation, we can become a galactic civilization. A civilization that does this sort of stuff can be called loud because its activity creates noise. Signs that can be detected from far away. Imagine someone in a forest, cutting down trees, starting fires, and laying down roads. The more intense their work, the easier they are to notice. An expanding technological civilization would probably be hard to miss. Our telescopes would pick up all that energy and we
Warum sieht das schon aus wie auf Strategiekarten, wo man um Einflusssphären kämpft?
would clearly identify artificial interference with stars and planets. Another consequence of this business is that it's very disruptive to the environment. Clearing a forest means the end of its wildlife. Human activity has left no chance for a squirrel civilization to appear. Not because we hated squirrels, it's simply that the thought that they might want to do that at some point never crossed our minds, and we needed wood. Similarly, if loud civilizations were running around the galaxy in the past, terraforming planets or harvesting the energy of stars, they may have prevented our existence. Had aliens started...
Genau, und deswegen ist es wichtig, dass wir die allerersten sind, die das machen, um deren Existenz zu verhindern, sonst kommen die uns noch in die Quere.
...colonizing Earth while we were still sludge in the oceans, that sludge would never have turned into humans. This is how loud aliens create a deadline for new civilizations appearing. The galaxy may have trillions of years to create life, but there may only be a short window for it to spread and thrive. Even if a loud civilization respects planets with naturally occurring life and expands around them like humans do.
Ja, wir müssen jetzt dringend rushen, damit die nicht die Chance bekommen, uns Einfluss wegzunehmen.
With wildlife reserves, any civilization on such a planet
Schon mal das Handtuch in andere Galaxien hinlegen. Gutes Bild.
would not be able to expand ever, trapped forever on a tiny island. But here we are, so loud aliens were probably never here. What about aliens that don't expand? They would be quiet aliens. They're probably limited to one star system and don't have a noticeable impact on their cosmic surroundings. Humanity is like this right now. We wouldn't be able to detect ourselves from the other side of the Milky Way. If they stay quiet forever, maybe because of their culture or abilities, then they are not really a concern for us. We only have one sample to draw from: humanity. And right now, we are on the path to becoming loud. If we're not special and succeed anyway, then any other civilization with the motivation and resources to would eventually expand beyond its planet of origin.
Und vielleicht mit der Möglichkeit, sich gemeinschaftlich um ein Thema zu kümmern und nicht so zerstritten und destruktiv zu handeln wie wir als Spezies, nicht wahr?
Okay, what are the consequences of all these assumptions and ideas?
Außerdem, wir haben TikTok, der Zug für unsere Weiterentwicklung ist abgefahren. Wenn ich mir solche Gedanken mache, fühle ich mich immer so alt, aber es stimmt halt.
Grave consequences. Race to the stars. If we are really early, then eventually others will catch up with us. Civilizations will emerge all over the place. And these new aliens will look at space, see no signs of life, and come to the same conclusion. They exist because loud civilizations have not yet taken over everything, but it only takes one loud civilization to crowd them out of the entire galaxy. They, like us, will face an important decision. Do they stay quiet, take it easy, and tend to their planet for as long as possible, or do they start expanding to take a chunk of the galaxy before someone else arrives? Meeting others does not necessarily mean war or conflict.
Ja, die sind bestimmt ganz anders als der Mensch.
But it means that new borders will arise, limits that may persist forever. In the worst case, a civilization could be completely enveloped by the empires of others, eternally doomed to be a galactic backwater without control over their fate. So if we want a seat at the galactic adults' table, we best get to work.
Ist das jetzt hier ein Propagandavideo dafür, dass wir den Weltraum kolonialisieren müssen, um uns auch einen Platz an der Sonne zu sichern, im wahrsten Sinne des Wortes?
If we really are early, we have an incredible opportunity to mold thousands or even millions of planets according to our vision and dreams. And one day, when we meet others, we can greet them and meet them as equals.
Oder wir unterwerfen sie alle mit brutaler Gewalt. Tja. Was haben wir gelernt? Wir sollten uns beeilen, um einen strategischen Vorteil zu bekommen.